Hi guys, welcome to another video of our Selenium automation series. In this video, I am going to discuss with you one of the very important topic, which is XPath. Here you can see, and this is a very good and important topic, guys. So don't uh, just take it easily, because I have seen there are a lot of people who has a lot of experience in Selenium. They maybe worked with 3 years, 4 years, and even in it is more than 7, 8 years. They are not good in XPath. So this is something which is making you have to make ensure that you are getting very good in expert writing in case of writing expert, because most of the time you might be facing challenges when you are going to write automation scenarios. There are kind of fields which is you might be facing a lot of times, that how to write an expert, how to write, and expert which can be useful for longer time, or there are some scenarios they are really facing a lot of issues on creating expert. So in this video, I'll be trying to cover all the different types of locators, of ways of getting expert. I'll be starting from very basic level. I'll be considering that from level 0 to the advanced level, and let's see how much we can cover in this particular video. Because if you ask me, particularly XPath itself, a huge one. So I think a single video is not be was it not, you can say, enough for understanding, or it is getting to expert within a single video. That is not possible. Okay, so it may take, but I will be trying to cover almost all the things that a particular that by using those techniques, by using those methods, by using those approaches, you can create experts, so that you should not have face any issue at the time of working in your real project, right? So let's start. Here are the topics that you can see. What are the things that we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss what is XPath and why should we have used XPath, and after that also you can see how to create XPath. So what is expert? I think it is very clear to each and every one of you guys. But if someone is very new, for them only, I just wanted to say, here you can see the full form of expert is nothing but XML path language, right? Now expert is nothing but it is another locator in Selenium, right? There are the different types of locator. I have already created another video on this. What are the types of locator? Now from there we I have discussed about there are 8 types of locators, right? Among of these 8 type locators, expert is one of the locator, and we also told that expert is the ultimate solution of the other types. Let's see why we say it is an ultimate solution, right? We can say expert is an ultimate solution, because the other experts, there we have id names, right? So all these type of experts, we have css. So if you are not able to get an expert by using those locator types, there is the last option, last solution, that is always an locator, sorry, always an expert. So if you know the expert, you do not have to be worried about the other type of expert. That I can guarantee. Right. Now let's talk about that. Why should have used the expert? Right. That second point. Now you got to understand that there might be situations that where you are not able to use these other types of expert, sorry, other types of locator, where you are might be facing some issues, some challenges, or sometimes their fields are dynamic, right? So for working with the dynamic fields, we need to help of the expert, right? Their css also is going to work, but most there are a lot of cases where you cannot use css. So in that case, I already may say that expert is an ultimate solution. There is no doubt on it. So definitely, and I have seen most of the cases that industry is using expert. If I say there are 100 out of 100, I can say more than 85% cases people are using expert. Maybe you can see uh, 15% cases people are using rest of the type of locators, right? So now let's talk about that how to create expert, right? Before we jump to how to create XPath, I want to say that there are uh, the XPath are basically there are two types of XPath we see. Okay, so XPath there are basically two types. One is, let's say, if I see XPath, right? There are basically two types. First type is your absolute XPath, another is your relative XPath. Okay, so absolute XPath is something which is dealing from the root level to one by one to the your you can say your target node, right? So if you are in the HTML page and there from the start you are starting from the HTML tag itself from the very starting point, and you are going to your particular field, so that expert is called as an absolute expert. And relative expert is something that you can start from anywhere of the HTML document. You no need to traverse from the root web. Let me show you quickly how what I actually mean here. I'll show you one example of HTML, and from there you can understand what is the absolute expert and what is the relative expert. This concept of absolute and relative is clear to you guys, and in this video, we'll be mostly discussing with the relative expert and what is the relative expert and what all the types of relative expert, because absolute expert it is not at all recommended. Okay, people should not use absolute expert if until or unless it is very required. So most of the cases people should do not use. It's very basic. It is looks like you are directly starting from the HTML tag, so it is like HTML tag, right? And after that you're moving to your, let's say, head, right? After that you're going to body, and so on, like, so if you are going this way, that is nothing but is going to be your absolute expert. Okay, so here you are starting from the root point. This HTML is your root point, and if you are starting from here and you are going towards one by one the branches, that is nothing but is going to be your absolute expert. So now here you can understand that if your field is so far away from the particular root field, right, so that case your absolute expert is going to be very big. Now problem is, let's say there are after this body we have there one div is there. After div, let's say there is one input or there is table, right? So tomorrow someone is added another div or up before this of this div. So what happened, your path will get break, right? So in this case, this for this reason this absolute is not a recommended solution if you are going to create an XPath. So for this reason, people should not use absolute XPath. You should always avoid using absolute XPath. In this video, we'll be mostly discussing on the relative XPath, because this is the XPath people should always use. This is the ultimate solution for any of the field that you see in the browsers, right? So before we jump into this particular XPath, right, creating XPath and all the fields, right, what all are the fields are there? I just wanted to take you one of the very simple website where I will be just simply discussing that how the HTML field looks like, so that it should be clear to each and everyone, because I am expecting that here are some of the people who do not have any knowledge of what is HTML document or how the HTML document looks like, right? So for that reason only I'll be just spending 1 or 2 minutes for on that, and I'll be explaining everything. So let me take, let's say I'm going to my desktop. There is one, I have a HTML document. So HTML document is nothing but a file which is having the you can see extension as .html, right? So if you see here, this is one of the file which is having extension as .html, and the name of the file is home. So if you have this kind of files, that file is called as an HTML file. For me, here are two files you can see. One is index.html and another is home.html. So if your file is HTML extension, that is that can be open in a browser. So if I double click on it, you can see I'm getting one page here, right? So this login page is come here. Now if you enter your data, let's say I'm entering Saddam, and if I say password, let's say I'm entering 1 2 3 4 5 6 empty, right? So this is the field, this is an HTML page. Here you are getting two input boxes, and this is a login button, and this is a label, right? So this kind of fields that you are getting by creating that page. If you wanted to see the content of this particular page, you can open it in a notepad plus plus, or let me see, open it into notepad plus plus, right? So this is a notepad plus plus. Here you can see the document has got open. This page I have given the title as the login page, and this is the label that you can see login, and this is the field which is for the entering the username, and this is another field which is for the password, entering the password. This is for login button. So this is how this HTML page, HTML document looks like. Here you can see from the starting top point. Uh, if I collapse everything here, you can see it is starting from the HTML tag, right? If you explore this HTML tag, there is in this part after HTML there are two tags, that is nothing but one is head and another is body, right? Inside body you can see we have div. Inside of div there is h2, and then form, and then input. To there are inside of form there are input, there are separate, you can say, HTML tags, input, input button, div, all these tags are there, right? So here each this HTML body, right, this title, style, everything, these are called as HTML, HTML tag name. Okay. Yeah, similarly this div is an HTML tag name, form is an HTML tag name, this input is also an HTML tag name. Okay. So here you can see this field, each and every field, they have something, right? They have, this is what I say, this is your tag name, right? This is your tag name, right? And here you can see this is an HTML tag. This HTML tag, it is starting from with the tag name, and this is a key and value pair, right? And this is also a key and value pair. Similarly, for the other tags also you can see there can some other HTML tags where you may not have any attributes, like body, it do not have any attribute, right? It do not have any attributes, right? Here you can see. So but so HTML tags, it can have attributes, it may not have attributes. Sometimes some HTML tag it is, like say for button, right? It has some inside text also. See, when the button is closing here, this is the button tag is closing, this is the button tag. Before, in between of this we have one text is there, this is called as text. Okay, so this is called as text of that particular HTML. And this key and value pairs, this is called as key, that means attribute key, and this is called as value. Okay, value means attribute value. Okay, I'm simply writing attribute value, and this is my attribute key. Okay, these things you have to know, guys. So what is tag name, what is text, what is attribute key, and what is value? If you are remembering these things, what is tag name, what is text, what is attribute key, and what is value, so I think you won't get um, any issue when we are going to discuss with the expert things, right? One more thing I am to show. Here you can see from body, there it is a child, right? Div is a child of body. This div also have different several childs, right? It has one child as h2, it has another child as form, right? There are two childs of this deep. Right? Similar way, if you check this particular form, this form also have multiple childs, right? This is one child, this is another child, this is another child, and it has another child. So this childs, so here you can see, if I consider this body as parent, right? This is a parent, then for this parent, this is going to be your child. So this is going to be your child, right? So again, for this H2, this is parent. So this H2 is going to be grandchild of body, right? If I create a relation between body and H2, the body is the grandfather of H2, or in different way I can say H2 is a H2 is, I can say, grandchild grandchild of body. Hope this is clear to you guys, right? Similar way I can say, can I say that these inputs are child of form, right? So we can see uh, form is father of input input button, right? This way. So form is a form is a father of input button. This, now here you can see this, this fields, this input button, they are at the same level. So if something is at the same level, we are calling them as sibling. Okay, we are calling them as sibling. Now there are two type of sibling. If I consider this with the rest of the siblings, so I can say it is coming to the first. It is coming first uh, from the HTML document. If I read the HTML document from the top to bottom, so I can say this is number one, this is number two, and this is number three, and this is number four child, right? So input one is the number one child, input two is the two child, and after that three, four, five, six, in this way. So now, if I create a relationship between these fields, right? So I want to, let's say I want to create a relationship between uh, first input and second input. So what is the relation? This come first, so we will be taking this is an elder one, and this is coming later, so we will be taking as a, you can say, junior one. So in this case, the relationship is like, if we go to the below side, down side, if I go, that we say following. Okay, FOLLOWING, and as they are sibling of each other, so we say following sibling. Similar way, let's say I want to create a relationship between this field. Let's say this is my field 1 and this is my field 3, right? This is my field 3 and this is my field 2, right? So if I want to create relation between this and this, so what I'll say, uh, field 3, if I compare between the field 3 to field 1, can I say that is a preceding of this? They are all child siblings, but as it is a elder one, we will say preceding. So we can say it is a preceding sibling, right? So anything is above. So for F3, that is F2 also preceding sibling. For F3, F1 also preceding sibling. And opposite direction, opposite OA, F1 has two following sibling, F2 and F3, and F1 don't have any preceding sibling. For F2, F2 has F1 as a preceding sibling, F2 has F3 as a following sibling. Hope this concept is very clear to you guys. Now let's move to Let's move towards the how we can create the XPath on all these things. We will be see on this. Okay. The website, and we'll be creating XPath from the very basic part. And so for creating the XPath, I'll take you to one of this website. Okay, this is one of the website where we'll be trying to create multiple XPath, and I'll show you that how to, and we'll be starting from the very basic part. So first of all, let me go to there. So for creating a XPath, you can there are multiple approach you can follow. Let's say I want to create an XPath for this particular field, right? Full name, this input inbox. So what you can do, you can keep your mouse over here. You can right click on it, and you will see one option you are getting inspect. You can click on it, and you will get the developer window. So this is a developer window where it is highlighting this point, the field you wanted to get, right? So in this way you can go, you can inspect the field. And there are another approach I'll show you. So if you directly want to go to the developer tool, what you can do, you can just click on Control Shift and I in your keyboard, and you will be getting this particular developer window. Now what you can do, you can click on this particular arrow icon. Here you can see this is the icon, and now you can take your mouse anywhere in this particular HTML page, and you can see it is getting highlighted there in the console window, right? So if I click on this particular field, now let's say have uh, I have highlighted here in this particular, I am to the particular directory where I want to get the XPath. So if you want to get XPath of this particular field, just click your mouse over here, and you can see that field is being highlighted over here, right? So now if you want to create an XPath, what you can do, actually you can see Control F to search. Okay. And what you can see, as I have already told you that for each and every field, for each and every HTML field, HTML document, there is a fields, and it has tag name. This is a tag name, and it has multiple attribute, key, and values. Right here you can see we have type equal to text, name is equal to uname, id equal to uname. So there are multiple attribute, key, and values, right? We have to understand, we have to we have to, you can say, find out which attribute is uh, it should be, you should have go. Before going to that, I want to show you that how we can write the absolute expert, right? So absolute expert, as I told, that it should always start from the root of the HTML document. So here you can see this HTML is the root of this particular page, right? So we can see HTML. So if I say HTML, you can see we are getting that particular field highlighted, right? After that, if we say let's say body, after that you can see it is, that body is now getting highlighted, right? So this is the way you can create in an expert. Let's say I want to go this particular this input B field, right? So after body, these are the, you can see that child of body. So I want to go to this particular div. So I'll say div, and there are two divs. I want to come to this particular this div, and after that there is one more. It has two. It has child. Div is a child. It has form also child. So I'll say I want to go to the form, right? So you can see I am coming to this particular field, right? This form has a child as a called as a b, so I'll say b, right? So this is how you can see we are getting that particular input field, right? So if you are creating this OA XPath, that is called as absolute XPath, right? The problem is, guys, let's say tomorrow some developer is added one more field here before this particular B, right? So this, or they have taken this inside a particular div. So before B might be, you might have to go to the div, right? So your XPath is going to be break now, right? So for this reason, we should avoid the using of absolute XPath. Okay. So this is the example I have shown you how to create the absolute XPath. But right now we are not interested on the absolute XPath. We'll be discussing on the apps. sorry, we are not interested on the absolute XPath. We'll be discussing on the relative XPath, right? So let me once again do it. Okay. So for creating absolute relative XPath, what you need to do, you have to always start from the uh, uh, double slash. Okay, if you start from the double slash, you can see we are already getting highlighted something, right? So that is okay. Let's say for this my target field, that is full name. Here you can see the tag name is input, right? So I can use input. Now you can see that we are getting, there are 15 results. Here you can see at the right side, this is showing that the number of matches with this particular expert. This is itself an expert, guys. Sometimes you can use this XPath for your particular some cases where you just have that particular type of XPath in that particular HTML document. But if you have multiple documents with this particular same XPath input tag name, same tag name, so that in that case you cannot use this, or you might have to go with the indexing. That is a different thing, right? So now this is a basic. So this is also be an XPath. If you use this, it will return you the first element which is being find. So this is actually able to find this element. So if you use this in your code, so it is always going to return you this one. But I am not interested on this one, right? I want to. I am interested on full name. So what we can do actually here, uh, we should have go ahead with any other. You can see uh, any other their identity, right? So let's see, if I look under this particular tag, so it has a lot of attributes. It has name, it has ID, it has type, and placeholder also, right? So there are a lot of attributes are there. So let me go to with the ID of this particular field. I can say ID is equal to uname, right? So I can use it, and the format is, you have to use the uh, this is the format, guys. You have to use the tag name. After that, you have to use these square braces, and you have to say add the that, and you have to say id equal to, within the, you can see the value of this particular attribute, right? This is the type which attribute you are using. So we are using id attribute, and what is the value of this attribute? Uname. So I have used this uname here. So now you can see it is inspecting the field that I wanted to look for, right? So it is giving exactly perfectly one result. So we can say this is a correct XPath for this particular field. Let me take it and store it somewhere. So what I'll do, let me scroll it down. I'll store the XPaths here. Get the site of, is a big size, right? So let me do one thing. I'll store this into a notebook plus plus. So let me take any one. Okay. So this is one of the XPath I have created. Now, instead of ID, you can take any of the attribute. Let's say if you want to go ahead with the name, right? So that is also fine, and the value of it is same. Or you want to go to the placeholder, right? So sometimes you may not have ID or name in that particular field, so you can go to the some other attribute. Let's say I want to go to the this particular value. So the value of placeholder is this. Now you can see it is perfectly uh, now we are getting two results. Okay, let me show here. If you are getting two results, I'll show you here. One more thing is, there is a something called indexing. Okay, so if you are let's say there are multiple results with same XPath, right? You can use indexing also. So but you have to be very you can say careful about your UI. If indexing is not always recommended, but some cases you can go ahead if you know that your UI is static and there is no similar XPath is going to be added there in the particular HTML document, then you can definitely use indexing. But it is, you should not always use, or you should always avoid using the indexing. I'll show you how to use the indexing also right now. So this is the XPath that which is right now indicating there are two fields which is using placeholder as enter your name. So what you can see is, I know that the first result is the exact one which is for the full name, and the second result is for some other field, but I'm interested on the first result. So what you can see, you can index it by using like this way, and you can see one, and here also you should have start with the parenthesis. So if you wrap it, and after that you have to provide the number index. If you say number, it is here in this case indexing is start from the one. Okay, so okay, something, let me say is two. No, it is not working. Okay, I got it. I think let me do one thing. That is a something different issue. I got the issue, but right now what I can see, let's say I want to go ahead with this some other details. Let's say I am going for this one. Okay, so here you can see for each, for all these, I have a you can see type is equal to checkbox, yes, or you can say value is equal to yes, right? So I can take this, let's say value, and I'll say this is yes. Yes. Okay. Now you can see now the indexing, how indexing is work. First of all, let me show you. If I do not use the indexing, you can see we are getting three results here in this right side, right? So all these three results are, you can see this one, and this one, English, Hindi, and others. But I want to see that I want to go for the Hindi, or I want to want for English, right? In that case, you can index this with the numbering. If you say index one, so it will be indicating to the English. If you say two, so it will be always indicating Hindi, and you can see we are getting only one result. So similarly, if you use three, so you will be getting that others, right? So let me do two. So this is for Hindi, right? So this is how you can use indexing operations for you. Okay. So you can see this is my example of indexing, right? And this is a very, you can see XPath. You can see it is a simple XPath. Okay, so just let me describe it. The format of the XPath is looks like it is starting from the this is your tag name. After that, you have to starting from the double slash. After that, you have to use the name of the tag. Okay, okay, the name of the tag. After that, you have to use enclose with the curly square braces. After that, you'll be using at the that. This is mandatory, and after that, you'll be using this tag name. Sorry, attribute name, and after that, this one you'll be using attribute value. Okay, this is the simplest format, guys. So you have to remember this format. If you are remembering this format, then you shouldn't face any issue when you are writing the XPath by yourself. Attribute value. Hope this is clear to you guys. So this is a simple format. Let me quickly show you some other formats how we can create the XPaths. So I'll take you to the website once again. Let's say here we were using. Let me remove this one. I'll be taking to that. Okay. So let's say I want to use name. Okay, so let's say for now I'm locating to this particular first field where the name is a, and my tag name is input, and this is the attribute name. But I want to make sure that I want to use another attribute for this particular case. So if you want to use multiple attributes for your XPath creation, so that you are very confident that okay, the XPath we are taking, that is a exact XPath. So let's say I want to include this type equal to checkbox also, right? So in that way, you can confirm that okay, it should be always that input type equal to checkbox, that input is getting being picked up by your XPath, right? So what, how we can use multiple attributes, right? So if you want to use multiple attributes, so there are multiple ways. One of the way is what you can do. Beside of this, you can create another one. So how you can use another square braces, and you can provide at the rate, and you can see attribute name is attribute key is type, and you can say its value. You can provide is a value is checkbox, right? So you can provide the type of the attribute, type of the attribute key, right? So this way also you can combine multiple attributes, multiple, you can see multiple attributes of that particular HTML element, and you'll be able to create the X path, right? So if I take this particular and let me store it here into the Notepad++, so I can say this one multiple attribute. Okay. Now let's go to there. Instead, here you can see we are using multiple attributes with two square braces, right? So if you do not want to go ahead with these multiple square braces, what you can do, you can simply use OR operator, sorry, AND operator. So what you need to do actually, you can use and you can see we are getting the result. If you use caps A and D, it is not going to work. Okay. If you use caps A and D, it is also not going to work. Remember that you are using all in small caps, also all in small characters. Okay. So if we are using and you do not have to enclose with multiple uh, square braces, right? So this is also similar. This is also similar to the above one. So this way also we can write a, you can say, uh, XPath for a particular field, right? Now let's say tomorrow I want to create an XPath where what happen actually, if any of the cases is matching, any of the, let's say if I want that, for me, let's say if name is equal to A or type is equal to checkbox, any of the condition is matching, I want to go ahead, I want to get that particular field should work, right? So let's say for now, if both are matching, then only I'm getting the result. But if I change something over here, let's say I'm removing X, now you can see I'm not getting any result, right? Or I'm changing over here, let's say I'm adding one any character, so it is not work. So that means both sides should exactly match, right? Then only AND operator will work. But what I want now, that if any of the left side or right side, any of the condition is matched, then that XPath should work, right? So how to do that? For that we have OR operator. If you use OR operator, let's say I'm changing any value there in the right side operator. Let's say I'm saying checkbox 1, right? You can see I'm still getting the result. There is no issue because OR operator works like if any of the field, either left side or right side, is true, then it is always true, right? So here in for my case, A is true, the left side is true, so the ultimate result is true. But if but what if both the side is false? Let's say I'm making these changes there in the A, so you can see now left side is also false and right side is also false. Both the side is false, then we are not getting any result. But if I remove the right side one, you can see now we are getting result, right? For now we are getting multiple result because with this checkbox we have three input fields are there, right? So this is how you can use OR operator. So where to use OR operator, I think that concept is also clear to you guys. So I'm just adding it over here. So for till now we have seen that how to use, this is the simplest format of creating XPath. After that we have seen that where to use the indexing, when to use indexing, and this is not recommended for each and every case. Only for special cases you guys should have used the indexing. Okay. Next thing is I have shown you that how to use multiple attributes with multiple, you can see, square braces, and after that we have seen the operators, how to use the and or operators for creating an XPath, right? Hope this till now everything is clear to you guys. writing XPath with the by using the attributes. Now let's see how we can create XPath by using the text of the particular field. Okay, text of text of the HTML tags, right? So I have already discussed that what is text of a HTML tag. Now let's see in that example, in that particular web page, I'll show you what is tag actually. So here you can see this label, right? This is one of the label. Which label there is a, I don't have any text, I don't, sorry, I don't have any attribute called ID, name, or some other fields, right? We have class attribute, but with this class attribute we can have multiple fields also, right? So this class also same that class name, for this label also same class name, so we can have multiple matches with this particular class name, right? So that is one of the reason why by using class attribute that is not recommended. Now here you can see this is called as a text of this particular HTML tag. So how to use this? So for using this you have to use the text as a, here in the particular, let's say I am taking you here. So you have to use, first of all you have to ensure that you are using the label. So for me the tag name is label, so I have to use label here, label, and after that I have to use text and parenthesis, and after that you can see equals, and you can use the data, you can use the text what you can see there in the UI, the same text that you have to use here in the text. Okay, if you, by using these you can create an export of this particular field. You can see we are getting exactly one result. So this is going to be your export for this particular field. So let me take it here. If I just wanted to show you what is the difference between using attribute and using text, right? So difference is, there is a slightly difference, guys. If you are using attribute you must have to ensure that you are using at the that, right? This is something that you have to use. But if you are using text then you should not have used any at the rate. If you are using at the rate, it is not going to work, right? Another thing is if you are using adjective, sorry, if you are using text, right? So you have to use the parenthesis. This parenthesis is needed for if you are using text. But if you are using attributes, you should not have used any parenthesis here. This is the difference if you are using with, what is the difference when you are going to use with the text or attributes. Hope this is something that you will be remembering every time whenever you are going to write an expert for a particular field. Now I'll show you another approach of writing expert by using text. What you can see, the simplest form. See here, we are using text. It is a, I have to write a lot of things. Instead of writing text, we can use dot also. So if I use dot, you can see we are getting the same result, right? So this is also how to write an expert by using text. Okay, so this is also, both is going to give me the similar output. If you are using this one, that is also fine. If you are using this approach, this is also fine. Both is going to use same result. Okay, so instead of using text and parenthesis you can use only single dot. This is going to work for you. Now let me show you some other operations, some other functions, right? So we have already talked about how to use attribute, how to use text of a particular field. Now let's focus on some, you can say, functions. Create export. Okay, there are some functions which is being used to create export. So those functions are like, you can see, we have starts with, and we have contents, right? So let's see what and how this works. Starts with. Starts with is something that, let's say they are in the UI. I have this field, and I, let's say this is a very big text, right? I don't want to use this complete text as an text of the particular XPath. What I want to use, I want to use the starting point of this particular field of this particular text. So in that case, I can use that starts with, right? So if I copy this, and this is also a label, so what I can say in this case, I should not use equal sign because we are not going to use the exact data, right? So we are going with the starts with, so we can say starts with, and after that you have to use the parenthesis. You can see that is a text of that field, right? The data, it is not an attribute, it is a text, right? So if it is a text, then we have to definitely use text. So I'll say text, and if you are using text, don't forget to use the parenthesis. So if you are using text, now comma, after that within single quote you have to use the text which is starting with that particular text that you have copied, right? Now you can see it is exactly, you can see matching with one result, and that result, that data is showing here, right? So this is how you can use the start with. Okay, so I'll show you. So this is how you can use start with. So similar way, if you do not want to use text, you can use dot also, that should always work. So if you use remove this with dot, that is also going to work. I'll show you. So if I remove text from here, you can see now it is also working, right? So this is how you can create your XPath by using start with. Similar way, you can not only start with, there is another method which is very highly used, which is nothing but contents. Okay, if you are using contents, that means you want to match some data of this particular text. It can be starts with, it can be ends with, it can be anywhere in the middle of this particular text, whole text, or it is an attribute. Wherever it is matching, it will give you the result. Now for this, let me remove this particular select, that is place part I am removing. So now also you can see we are getting that particular result, right? So it will match from anywhere of this particular text. So once it is matching, so it will give you the result. So this is how you can use the contents, right? If I say example of contents, you can use this way. Here also again I no need to say that instead of using dot, you can use text and parenthesis. Okay. So this way you can write your contents. These contents can validate, can create your XPath not only from the starting, it can be anywhere of your data. And for now we have used this for starts with, and contents we have used for the text only, right? It can be, it is not bounded to text, it can be used with your attributes also. Let me show you one example quickly. Let's say there is one field, let's say this one, right? So this is something that where you can see for is a choice 1, choice 2, choice 3. I want to use part of this particular, not the complete one. I want to use, let's say, YCE1. This part I want to take. So if I say this is, I am replacing this data. Now this is not a, first of all I need to ensure this is the field. Yeah, this is, so this is label. So input is, so tag name is fine, but contents, but this is not going to my text, right? Now this is an attribute value, so I have to use the attribute. What is the attribute name? That is for, right? So I have to use here for. And also you have to, I have told that if you are using attribute, you should have ensured that you are using at the date, right? So I'll use for. Now you can see we are getting result. So this is another example how you can use contents with the attribute. Okay. Hope this concept also clear to you guys. So now if you are using attribute, you have to use at the rate and the attribute name, and this is the attribute value. But if you are using text, then you can use dot or text both, and you can pass the data that you want to use. Hope this concept is also clear to you guys. last part of this video. Although the video is going to be a longer one, but yeah, we should have covered that last part also. Here we will be covering for understanding the utilization of following and preceding. Also, we'll cover parent, child, and child, and we'll be covering sibling. Okay, so these are the things we will be going to cover in here now. I'll be quickly going through these things. Just there are two things, guys. Following and parent, following preceding, and you can following preceding and child and parent, right? So parent is nothing but I have shown you in the structure, HTML structure, what is parent and what is child, right? So, what is the meaning of following now? Right? That is the question. Let me take you to that HTML document. So, you'll be able to understand there. So, I was discussing you that this is the structure, right? So, let's say my pointer is there. This is the field, right? This field, before of this field, if I start from this line number one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever line is coming, whatever line is there before this particular line, all these lines are called as a following part of this particular field. Okay, and similarly, whatever line falls after that particular line number 56, all are called as a following for this particular field, and the earlier lines are called as the preceding lines of this particular field. So if I say preceding of this particular line, particular input are all these things which is are preceding, and below are tags, below in lines are there the following, right? So this is the concept. And I also already discussed what is following sibling and what is preceding sibling, what is parent, what is child. Those are the things that I have already discussed. Look, let's see the example right now. Now, let's say I'm there into this particular field. This is the field which has four, you can see four siblings are there, right? Level. It has four siblings, and out of four siblings, you can see it has child also, right? This is the child of this particular field, right? So if I see child, for if you want to get child, so what is the format? You have to say child, and after that you have to pass the child HTML tag name. So HTML tag name is input, you have to use input here. So if you say this, you can see we are getting that particular value. Or if you want to vary, let's say there are multiple input tag for this particular child. Let's say here for div, right? If I talk about div has multiple childs with the same input tag name, right? So input, so same tag name. So if you want to use any other specific identifier, you can use that. That is not an issue. For this input tag, let's say I have uh, type is equal to radio, or id is equal to contact choice 1, or name is equal to lang, right? Or value is equal to java. For me, let's say I'm going to use value is equal to java, right? So I can use that. I will say value is equals java, right? So here you can see we are getting the exact that element we are looking for. So this is how you can use child concept. Hope it is also clear to you guys. If you want to go to the child, you can use this way. So you have to say child, and this is mandatory if you are using the child, and after that you have to provide the tag name of the particular field, and after that similar way to the whatever you have seen there in the HTML, sorry, in the above unique format, right? So similar way, if I want to create an XPath for parent, it is the same process. Instead of child, you have to use the parent. I'll show you. See here. Let me remove this child. Okay, so now it is indicating to this. I want to go to the parent, right? So this is the parent div. So if you see slash parent and see colon div, now you can see, sorry, okay, So you can see it is now indicating to this particular div, right? So this is how you can create an XPath for a parent. So here the trick is you have to use this parent keyword and you have to use double colon. After that, the name of the particular HTML tag. Hope this is clear to you guys so far. There is another thing, and instead of parent, right? Instead of you write the parent and slash slash div, what you can do actually, you can write double dot. That is also take you to the parent, right? This is also work, so you can use this also. So instead of writing this way, you can say equals this. Okay. Similarly, for child also, instead of writing this way, what you can use actually, let me show you. If I use, if you want to remove child, you can remove it. It will also indicate the same field. There is no way. So direct child can be represented with the single slash. Okay. So if you are using single slash, that means you are moving towards direct child. No need to use this child keyword. Okay. Now hope this concept is clear to you guys. When to use child keyword or not to use. If you are going to parent, you can use the parent keyword or you can use directly double dot. This is something which is going to take you to the parent node. Hope this is clear to you guys. Now let me show you following and preceding. So let's say I am here in this particular field. I am here to this particular field, right? I'll say slash following. Slash following. If I say I'm not getting anything, right? But if I say slash following and then colon, if say div. Right now you can see we are getting 16 result. What does that mean? It means that it is taking all the fields which is named as divs and which come after this particular field. Okay, after this particular field, whatever field which is false to means, let's say my focus was there into this particular level, right? In this level my focus was, so it will be looking towards the complete end till the end of this particular file. Whatever div is matching, it will give you the result. If you scroll down, if you hit, you can see it is giving all the results which is coming after that particular field, right? So this is how you can use div. Okay. And also similar way, if you say preceding, let's say div. What it does, it will provide you all the results. You can see we are getting 5. It will produce you all the results which is come above of this particular field. This field, above of this field, whatever fields are with the tag name as div, it will produce you all the results. If I remove div, let's say I'm say a, right, anchor text. So you can see all the anchor text which is above of this particular field, that we are getting the result, right? So, but I see it is a people do not use much on this preceding and sibling. So I am not discussing more on this. But if you want, you can use this. What most people, most of the cases people using, that is a sibling concept. I'll show you now. We are back to this particular field. So this field has, let's see, there are three fields which is, there are 4 levels which are siblings. This is the first level, this is second, third and fourth, right? And my pointer is there in the particular level, sibling number 2, right? The first sibling, this is the preceding sibling, and the remaining third and fourth is following sibling for this particular field. Similarly, if I talk about this particular choice 3, this choice 3 has no following sibling, but it has 3 preceding siblings, right? So if I say of these 3, let's say I'm discussing on these 3, So you can see now it is indicating to this particular field. If you want to see what there, if you see here, there is no following sibling. There is only preceding sibling to this particular fields, right? Hope this concept is clear to you guys. Now, if you say, let's say preceding sibling, and after that you have to use double colon and say level. Now we are getting there are three preceding siblings, right? One, two, and three. And let's say I want to go to the preceding sibling two. So what you can do, you can use the property of that particular field, right? So I can say where at that 4 is equal to contact choice 2, right? So you can copy it from here, contact choice 1. So it is taking me to there, right? So this is how you can go or use the preceding sibling concept. Hope this concept is clear to you now. Let me copy this and let me paste it to the notepad plus plus. Preceding. This is an example of preceding following preceding sibling. Similar way, we can have following sibling also. So for writing for following sibling, let's say I'm starting from the office number one, and I see instead of preceding we can use following, right? Instead of choice one, I can see two, right? You can see it is indicating two. If I say three, it is indicating three. Right now, so this is how you can utilize the XPath of following sibling and preceding sibling, right? So the format is like is a preceding. You have to use this keyword preceding sibling or following sibling as per their field's location, and after that you have to use double colon. Okay, this is something you have to use, and after that the same that is for a particular HTML field that we are using for creating XPath. That is same, right? This is the part that you should know how to apply this part. Okay, if you are if you understanding this part, then I don't think that you will be getting any issue on creating the XPaths. So far, whatever we have discussed, guys, we have discussed the normal part, we have discussed the and or, how to use and or, where to use and on or, right? Those things we have discussed, we have covered. Also seen how to use for text and what is the difference between if you are going with the attribute concept and going with the text concept. Also, we have seen that how to use with different functions are there, starts with their contents. Those are the things that we have discussed and we have seen how to use. Also, we have discussed on what is uh, parent, what is child, what is following, what is preceding, what is following sibling, what is preceding sibling. I think if you practice this a lot, and you'll be getting a master of this, and this is going to uh, I think provide you all the solutions if you face your in your automation. And still, this is not all the all about the expert, guys. There are a lot of other type of other ways to create expert, but I'm not going on to all the details here right now because I think it will be very big for you guys. If if you want to know about other ways how to create the experts, just let me know in the comment box. I'll be happy to create another video on those things, on those topics. But for now, I think if you know these things, if you will not face any challenges. Okay, still let me know if you wanted to know some other topics, or you are facing, you are not able to understand how to create the expert on those kind of situation. I'll be happy to create another video on those situations if I am able to find as any particular example for those cases, right? This video is become very long, guys. I'm sorry for that, but I wanted to give you some real-time example, some real-time scenario, real-time how to. I hope you guys have learned something different, something new. If And thank I always want to thank you for loving these videos. And I think I'm going to create another video on different topics. Let me know. Okay, thank you guys, thanks for watching. Bye.